Hi everyone, Mr. Peabody again. Lesson 2. Playing chords on guitar. Now, a chord can be anything from 2 to all strings. So it's like you don't need to, if you wanted to, you could actually play just like you could play 2 strings, and that's still considered a chord. Um, Plectrum, sorry. Um, but here's your basic shapes, right? If you look up here, you got E. This is the E shape, and don't worry about the numbers too much. The numbers are referring to what fingers you should be using to actually play these strings. It's like but it's comfortable to you. So if I'm playing the E, my first number 1 is your forefinger. So yeah, my forefinger is on that spot. Second and third, it's pretty much accurate. It's a guide. It's not set in stone. So yeah, so playing an E. So basically, what it means is this bit here is your top nut, which is the top nut on your guitar. So the top nut on the guitar is where the strings breach, and so it's saying to play an E, that's what you're doing. That's your top nut, and there's where you put your fingers, and that's what you get with an E. So yes, that's that. Okay, and same with the A. The A, that's the top nut, and to play an A, you play that. So that's that. To play a D, once again, that's the top nut, but it's actually telling you not to play these notes. That's a misnomer. Don't worry about that too much. But to play a D, they tell you to just play 3 strings, which is, you don't have to just play 3 strings. You can actually play all of them. It doesn't really matter all that much. And what I missed out on the first lesson was the C. The C is one of your major chords. Sorry, my fingers are a little bit stiff at the moment because I hit my forefinger twice with a mallet when I was doing paving. So that's a C. And as you can see, yeah, once again, that's the top nut, which is the end of the guitar. So these are all open chords. All these are open chords, including the G. So it's like these are all open chords. So in other words, you're not bridging anything. When you go to bar chords, it's a little bit different. The reason why I'm saying this is because like here you've got E minor, which I showed you last time. A minor, D minor, and C7. C7 is a little bit tricky because you need your pinky. Your pinky comes into this one. Oops, that's not right. But you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're using 4, and your thumb is the opposable thing. You can actually, on certain chords, use your thumb to reach around and grab the last couple of strings, but for the most part, your thumb is out of the picture. It's basically just holding your hand in place. And G7. But here's where it gets interesting, where you get to the F. The F is basically an E chord, but bridged. They show it here as being, you hold down both these strings and you do this. But basically, it's an E string. So it's an E with a bridge. So you're playing the same thing, but that F is where you get into the first of your bar chords, because F is not really an F. It is a bar chord, played in the shape of E. So if you move these things up a couple of notches and then bridge all across the top fret, you end up with an F. And you can play an F here, and of course you can go up a couple of notches and play a G and an A sharp, B, C, and you can play it all the way up and down the frets. That's where it comes into bar chords. But yeah, all your open chords are E, A, D, C, G, right? And by the way, those are all your shapes. All the shapes you need for any chord up and down the frets, right? The only difference is, if you play those chords up and down the frets, you have to bridge where they're played at. So by bridging, I mean you're actually putting your finger all the way across all the strings, and then playing the chord on top of that. In which case you're using different fingers. So if you're playing a C chord and you're playing it, say, on the third position, then number one is bridging the whole thing. So all of a sudden now you're using 2, 3, and 4. So if I'm going to do that, so yeah, these numbers don't come into play anymore, because now you're using the first finger to actually bridge across the whole fret wherever you're going to play it. That's why E and A are the easiest ones to actually play as bar chords. C, D is really hard to play as a bar chord. If you can do it, but it's you just wouldn't. You'd find another way to play the same thing. Playing the G as a bar chord, yeah, once again, you wouldn't do it. You could if you needed to, but basically you wouldn't do it. But these are your 5 chords. These are the 5 chord structures that you can use all up and down the guitar. And that's what I was talking about. What I missed out on when I did my first video was C. C was one of the major ones that should have been put in there, but I didn't put it in there. When it comes to minors, that's fairly simple. When it comes to C7, G7, things like that, that's a little bit different. That's something I can teach you later on. D7. D7 is an interesting chord, because you can actually use it as a descending scale. So you can play D, and then you play D sus, and you play D7, and then you play G. And some of you will recognize that song. Sorry, this finger is really bad. But yeah, D7 is an interesting one. You can get these chord charts from anywhere on the internet. Some are different, and some they ask you to pay for. Don't pay for them because they are free. But this is just a basic guitar chart. And as I said, don't pay too much attention to the 1, 2, and 3. That's basically telling you what finger to put where. And it doesn't matter what finger you put where, it's what's comfortable for you. So don't worry about that too much. But yeah, when it comes to these little chord charts they show you, that is basically the top nut on the guitar, and so that's your first fret, your second fret, your third fret, your fourth fret. If it tells you on here, if it says third fret, that means all of a sudden that's not the top nut. You go to the third fret. So that's a different thing again. Let me know if I'm explaining this well enough. See ya. Take care.